Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to Crypt Finder. This is your one-stop shop for unearthing some of those lost, hidden, abandoned horror movies. And I am continuing my series right now all about the creepiest made-for-TV movies that you might have overlooked. And yeah, well, 'tis the season, of course. So I think we might as well take a look from 1972 at unwrapping a really interesting murder mystery. It is Home for the Holidays. This sudsy sleeper from 1972 is a real suspenseful treat, and it brings together a stellar cast for a Christmas gathering. The story centers on four sisters who are persuaded to return to their family farmhouse for the holidays. Their father, played by Walter Brennan, believes his new wife, Elizabeth, who's played by Julie Harris, is trying to slowly poison him to death. And there's also a killer running around in a rain slicker with a pitchfork in the rain and the darkness of this farm, knocking off cast members left and right. I mean, frankly, it's like every holiday gathering that I've ever had. I don't know about you if you feel the same way or not. This cast is star-studded, even if they don't get to fully showcase their acting prowess. Walter Brennan had a long career as an actor. He won 3 Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actor. He parlayed his very distinctive voice and his mannerisms and even his walk into becoming a really fine character actor, but he really succeeded in westerns. On TV, he also used that exact same charm in the TV series The Real McCoys, which ran from 1957 to 1963. Besides Brennan, you also have Julie Harris, who had a long career on stage and also in front of the camera. She was in films such as East of Eden with James Dean, and of course, genre fans will remember her in Robert Wise's film The Haunting, which is based on Shirley Jackson's novel The Haunting of Hill House. We also have Eleanor Parker in the cast. She was a very gifted actress appearing in Home from the Hill, Return to Peyton Place, but most people will probably recognize her because she was the Baroness Schrader in The Sound of Music from 1965. Jessica Walter is also in the film, and genre fans will absolutely recognize her. She had already played the crazed psychopathic stalker of Clint Eastwood in Play Misty for Me, and fans, of course, of TV's Arrested Development will recognize her, as will Archer fans who will know her work and her voice, certainly, as Mallory Archer. You also have Jill Haworth. She originated the role of Sally Bowles in Cabaret, and then Sally Field rounds out the cast. This is, of course, before Sally Field became, I would say, a major star. She certainly had quite a few acting credits under her belt at this point. She was known for Gidget and also The Flying Nun, but certainly by the early 1970s, she was really looking to kind of break out of some of those comedic roles. By 1971, she was seeking help from famed acting coach Lee Strasberg at the Actors Workshop, and he was really helping her kind of branch out into more diverse and compelling roles, which eventually led to Sybil in 1976, which landed her an Emmy. And by the late 1970s, she was a bona fide megastar and still able to lean into the comedy, such as you would find in Smokey and the Bandit. And also, she delivered an Oscar winning powerhouse performance in Norma Ray. My point in going through all of these acting accomplishments of the cast is because even today, if you had an original film that was streaming on Netflix or Hulu or HBO Max, having this kind of cast, this pedigree of acting ability would really be, just unprecedented. So it's a very formidable cast. The family dynamics are tense, and as the story unfolds, the atmosphere grows increasingly sinister. While the mystery might not be as rock solid as it initially appears, still the film excels in creating a really creepy ambiance. As family members start dropping like flies, it becomes more apparent who the killer is, and yet, nevertheless, some scenes are genuinely pretty spine tingling, especially those featuring the killer dressed in a yellow rain slicker, wielding a pitchfork in the darkness. I'm not sure about the rewatchability factor here. I personally love rewatching this movie, but once you eventually know where the story is going and who the killer ultimately is, I'm not sure, but I think for the first time viewer, yeah, you're going to have a lot of fun. Home for the Holidays is certainly an early example of the slasher genre that would become, of course, hugely popular in the late 70s and in the 80s. The imagery of this raincoat wearing killer, it certainly seems to have inspired later mass serial killers. I'm not really sure how you could get away with not pointing out I Know What You Did Last Summer, that particular film. You have a killer running around with a hook, wearing a black rain slicker, and in this movie, you have a pitchfork and a killer running around in a yellow rain slicker. I don't know, it seems like a little too much coincidence. So I think that this movie certainly inspired some things that came after. This film is an interesting addition to the holiday horror subgenre. It combines the festive settings with also a dark, murderous plot. So it's a unique twist that adds to the film's sort of eerie charm. You can think sort of like early slashers and maybe even early giallo, not in terms of blood, because remember, this was 1972 TV, but certainly you can see some influences here in terms of style and the creepy atmosphere. Known for his work in horror TV movies, this was directed by John Llewellyn Moxey, and he creates a really suspenseful atmosphere. It keeps the viewers engaged despite the film's limitations. And of course, if you recognize the name at all, it's because he was also the director of the famed made for TV classic, The Night Stalker. The film definitely seems to be inspired, at least in part, by Agatha Christie. The plot, with its sort of picking off of characters one by one, has clear influences from Agatha Christie's work. The structure combined with the claustrophobic setting, it sort of adds to the film's tension and intrigue. I guess picture Agatha Christie's 10 Little Indians with a Christmas theme, and yeah, you'll be pretty much right on point. Over the years, Home for the Holiday has definitely acquired a little bit of a cult status, and that's mainly due to the campy yet chilly storytelling, and I guess its place in the evolution of TV horror films. Even if the mystery becomes somewhat predictable, the journey through this atmospheric thriller, I think it's worth it. The scenes with the raincoat clad killer, especially in the darkness and the rain stalking around the farm, it provides some genuine chills and it makes Home for the Holidays a very memorable watch. So, if you were up for a festive fright flick from the 1970s, hey, I think you could do a lot worse than Home for the Holidays. It's a really interesting film. You have a fantastic cast, and believe me, they're not phoning it in either. They are really giving it their all. So, give it a watch. It's available for free on YouTube, so you can watch it right now if you want to over a cup of hot cocoa. So please hit the like and subscribe button. That'll just let you know when I release new videos just like this one, so we can all take that trip together, that nostalgic trip down memory lane as we continue to look over some of these spooky finds from yesteryear. I hope you have lots of corpses roasting on an open fire for this season. And as always, stay curious and stay scared.